A dataset in the cloud using TAdvmyCloudDataSet. In this demonstration, you'll learn how you can use the MyCloudData service, which is a cloud service for structured cloud storage for data. You'll learn how you can use the MyCloudData service via a dataset in VCL or FMX applications. And you'll learn how you can perform seamless data binding of this MyCloudData dataset to VCL controls. First of all, let's explore the MyCloudData service that you can find at this URL, myclouddata.net. When we create a free account or using an existing account and log in, we can manage our account using these different options. One of the first things to explore and get is an API key. This is a unique key and secret combination that uniquely identifies your account. Using the application key and secret combination ensures that when you access the MyCloudData service, you'll get access only to your own personal data that you only can change and manage. There will be no other available data for any other user on the MyCloudData service. When you go to the Control Panel, you'll get access to all the tables that you host on your MyCloudData account. In this demonstration, we'll use the Contacts table that has a number of fields. The key field of this table, the ID field, and then several fields with different types. We have the name, which is a varchar field, an email address, gender of a contact person, a picture, which is a binary blob field, a birth date, which is a date-time field, a Boolean field, and a couple other integer fields. Below, you can find extra metadata that you can define for each field in your data set. For example, this extra metadata can be used to automatically generate DB-aware forms, where you specify labels, minimums and maximums, etc., for your fields. Or you can also define lookup relationships between different tables in your service. So using our API key and secret code that I'll not show you here in public for this demonstration because it is a personal and unique key for a specific account, today we will access this contacts table in MyCloudData service. And so with this clarified, we will move to Delphi and we'll start using the MyCloudData service. To do that, the first thing we add is a MyCloudData connection component, a non-visual control, to make the connection to the MyCloudData service. And then we add the MyCloudData dataset component. Typical for data access in VCL applications, we add a data source component, and then we hook up the connection to the dataset. And we hook up the dataset to the data source. We will show the information. We show the dataset in a standard VCL DB grid. And we will also use a standard DB Navigator control. And so I hook up the data source to the DB grid and the DB Navigator. Then it is the moment to make a connection to our Cloud Data service, and we will trigger that connection from a button on the form. So I add here the caption Connect, and in this handler, we can set up the connection to the MyCloudData service. We do this by, first of all, setting the unique key and secret code in the app class property of the MyCloudData connection. And I do this like this for key and secret code. And I will, for now, use constants. 2 constant values, and these constant values will be defined in an include file like this. And now, I need to save my project in a folder. We'll save it in this folder. And the value of these 2 constants, these will be set up in this include file that I copy in this folder. So it will be used when I compile this application. When the connection is successfully made, this connection component will trigger the onConnected event. And from this event, I can specify the table that I will use on the MyCloudData service. And in this case, it will be the contacts table. When the table is defined, I can set my dataset to active. I set active to true. There's one more thing that I want to set up, and that is the persistence of the access token that I'll obtain. So what will happen is that with my unique code and secret password, I will need to perform a login on the MyCloudData service to authenticate and authorize this account. And when everything is authenticated and authorized properly, I will receive from the service a unique access token. With this access token, I get permission to access the service via REST HTTP calls. And this access token remains valid for future sessions. So what I'll do is also instruct the connection component to persist my access token in an INI file. And to do that, I can simply say where to persist it, and this is, in this case, simply in an INI file. And within this INI file, I need to specify a section. And let's set this section to contacts. And I need to specify that I really want the location of the persistence of my access token to be in an INI file because it also supports persisting the access token in the registry or persisting in a database. So with this setup, the only thing that remains to be done is making the connection. And I do that by setting the property connected from my ADV MyCloudData connection to true. And let's see what happens when I run the application. Perform connect, and we see a login screen that comes from the MyCloudData service where I need to enter my credentials. And of course, these credentials need to match the application key and secret code that have been used to make this connection. When I perform a sign-in, you see that it was successful and that the data is loaded in my dataset. There was one gracefully handled indie exception. That only happens when run from the debugger, and that can be ignored in this case. There is one more modification that I'll do. That is decrease the width of this first column. So let's do that here. So first, column width, I set it to 24, for example. So now I start my application again. And when I perform a connection, now you see that I don't get a login screen again from the MyCloudData service. This is because the connection now reuses the access token that I obtained through my first login with authentication and authorization. And so my data here is in a grid, and I can use this data set just as if I was using a local database. So I can add a user here. Let's add some sample user for this test, which is a male person. Let's set a date of birth, like this. And I need to validate, of course. And let's make this person a friend. So now if I save this data, close the application, rerun the application, and make a connection, you can see that the person that we added is added in our dataset. And all this data is, of course, living in the cloud. So when I connect from other applications, mobile applications, web applications, whatever, to this same cloud data, I will see perfectly the same information in any application that uses the service. There's one more thing that I want to illustrate, which is the access to the blob fields. Blob fields are by default not automatically presented in the dataset, and this is for the obvious reason of performance. For example, we don't want to add, in this case, the binary blobs from all these pictures that are visible in the dataset. So what I'll do is add some code that will get the binary blob information that represents a picture and displays that in an ADV picture component. This is a component that handles out-of-the-box different picture formats. So I can specify here that I want my picture to be stretched with, taking aspect ratio into account, and let's add an event handler to my DB grid from where I'll show the blob picture. I prepared a code snippet to save some time to show that blob picture. This is the code snippet that we'll come to in a moment. Add this method to the form, like this. And I need to add some more units to make the MyCloudData blob class available, which is in this unit. So what happens here is that when I click on the grid, I will call the showBlobPicture method, and this will access the dataset and retrieve the blob from the picture field. And this is handled via the MyCloudData blob class. When this class is found, what we do is we create a memory stream. We save the binary blob to this memory stream, and if this memory stream contains any data, we load the picture from this memory stream. If not, we set the picture to empty. So let's see what happens when we execute this code. We make a connection. Remember that it reuses the token that was persisted in the INI file. And so when I click here on the different people, we can see that it has loaded the picture from the blob field. And this concludes this demonstration of the MyCloudData service using the MyCloudData dataset and the MyCloudData connection. These components can be found in the TMS VCL Cloud Pack. You can find everything about the TMS VCL Cloud Pack on this page, the Cloud Pack page. There are many other services that can be accessed with the VCL Cloud Pack, and the MyCloudData component is among these. So with this VCL Cloud Pack, you can do everything we've demonstrated here in this session to access MyCloudData structured data storage in a VCL application via a dataset.